Legislature unanimously approved a resolution to add the Sage brothers to the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. The brothers, Gary, Gregory, and Kelly, were three of the 74 sailors killed in a joint naval exercise accident in 1969. They were from Niobrara. There have also been multiple attempts to get those 74 names etched into the wall, but none of them passed. The newly passed resolution will now be sent to the Nebraska congressional delegation to encourage them to see if those names can be included on the wall.